Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our S&T press conference for this session. Udo Bullmann, our group president, has the floor.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our regular meeting here in Strasbourg. It's about... I think we could close the door when it's not that loud. I only want to safeguard that you can fully understand me. It's about the following issues, especially for us this week. Today we started with a Facebook and Cambridge Analytica debate in the plenary. We underlined that this is the biggest scandal so far in the digital age, and we seriously would like to see reactions from the Commission and the Member States, because it's about privacy, it's about data and personal sovereignty, but it's also about freedom and democracy, and we are in the uprun to the next European election, and the European election will be the test, the major test, whether we can defend democracy and freedom, or whether the sovereignty of the people is replaced by manipulation of data. So this is what we cannot afford. We are leading this debate here in the plenary, because for us, the Socialists and Democrats, this is top issue number one. I do regret, I appreciate that the Commissioner was there this morning and presented the ideas of the Commission, but I do deeply regret, and I mentioned that also in my communication in the speech, that the Austrians were not able to at least attend passively this debate this morning. I think the presidency should behave more seriously in a serious issue like that. If you know that the Austrian presidency does not invest anything to promote the deeply necessary progress on e-privacy, then you know that we have a good reason to criticize the Council formation here. We are, of course, shocked by the killing of this journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi opposition journalist in Turkey, and we would like not only to see a full investigation, but also demand that the Europeans stand together here and that they join on a common position towards Saudi Arabia. That means at the very moment we demand a full investigation where we don't see the room for arms exports or military equipment exports against the backdrop of what happened here only recently. We comment on the outcome of the European Council. Recently, again, I have to say I'm saddened by the fact that we have again a council without any progress on issues like Brexit and migration, both being very urgent on the agenda of the European Union. We go slow in both dimensions. Migration is scandal number one, because people are still suffering from the lack of a joint position in Europe. But Brexit is becoming hotter and hotter, as you know, so reactions have to be drawn here as well. The positive in this council was that Pedro Sanchez, the new prime minister in Spain, was able to include a strong commitment towards the sustainable development goals of the United Nations into the conclusions. This is what we promote in our group as the compass of the forthcoming European agenda, and which we very much contribute to, not only today in the legislative work, also tomorrow in the campaign, and the day after in the forthcoming mandate in our discussions on the Commission work program. The Commission work program will be discussed this week as well. We will publish our recommendations for this Commission work program. We have written a letter to Juncker and are demanding to get on the line of this United Nations Sustainable Development Goals with high time pressure and with all means at the command of the Commission. The last issue I would like to mention is the scandal on taxation, cum-ex, recently knowledgeable in Germany and elsewhere. We will discuss this as well very critically. The European Union cannot afford tax evasion in that and criminal practices in that extent. That is without any discussion. The Commission will propose, as I hear, to move forward to qualified majority ruling on taxation, which will be appreciated by our group, and we will work for that to make it happen. So these are the issues so far on top of the agenda for our group this week. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Udo Bullmann. Now it's time for questions. Jetzt David.
Thank you. David Carretta, Radio Radicale Italian Radio. Today, the European Commission is expected to reject the Italian budget and ask a new version. Do you think it's the right thing to do, or, as the Italian government is saying, it should be free to have a deficit at a higher level to have some more growth in Italy? Thank you.
Thanks for this important question. We have had a discussion on that last time as well. It was already on the horizon that we escalate here in this conflict. For me, this is not a situation where a government tries to help its own social policy system or to integrate those families, workers who are living under fragile conditions. For me, this is a political provocation. So it's not about social policies, it's not about economic growth, it's about institutional confrontation between a right-wing government and the European institutions. This is my reading, and insofar, I'm sorry for the Italian people that they will suffer from a conflict which is a make-up of a interested government, but which is not the result of the real attempt to improve the living conditions in the respective country.
There was a question, yes, I think for you. Yes, please.
Hi, Luke James from Yahoo UK. Just to follow up on your comments on Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, you've probably seen that former member of this House, Nick Clegg, has been appointed as their senior lobbyist. So I just wanted to know whether you think that is a sign that Facebook is taking this institution and the European institutions more generally very seriously, or whether you think that's a PR attempt or a lobbying attempt to change what's on the surface but without real reform.
First of all, I think Zuckerberg has realized that he has an image problem. Full stop. Everything else has to be seen. I have no indication that the business model is taking into question the problematic aspects of the mixture between advertisement and information. There is no clear indication. I still lack an answer to my question of the hearing when I asked Mr. Zuckerberg, can you guarantee that there is no interference from fake accounts, from fake news productions into the next European election? I'm still waiting for the answer. It's a couple of months ago.
Okay, Max, and then afterwards you. Yes.
Max Hoffmann, Germany, Deutsche Welle. Mr. Bullmann, what kind of reaction from the EU would you be hoping for in the case of the killing of Khashoggi in Istanbul?
I think this is high time that Europeans understand that in a critical situation like that, it's not up to one member state bilaterally to relate to this danger and to this scandal. It's up to the European Union to have a joint position. And this is what I also mentioned yesterday when we were talking about the agenda of this week. I hope that if we discuss this, then we strengthen the Commission High Representative, we strengthen the joint position of our foreign ministers to take massively not only a critical but a joint position towards Saudi Arabia. I think this is the only language they will understand. If they are able to deal separately with France, with the UK, with Germany, you only have to have a look empirically who is the ones to sell the weapons to them. It's besides the Americans, it's the British, the French, the Germans in this order. So only a joint position can help forward in the fight for democracy and freedom.
Vielen Dank. Now we go over here. Yes, I guess Turkey.
Monsieur El Mali, télévision kurde. Monsieur le Président,
I just wanted to know, recently there was a visit to Turkey last week, and yet neither the rapporteur nor the mixed committee wanted to go to Turkey. There was some kind of conflict inside the Parliament about this. Is there anything new that's cropped up? And is there any reason why Mrs. Kapirev went to Turkey?
Sorry for the pause, but I had to inform myself on the details on which you are asking, because you deserve a proper answer. What we can realize is that we see the rapporteur going, and the rapporteur was going with the support of the European Parliament, also, of course, with the support of our party group. And to my knowledge, she was outspoken also on conflicts with human rights, and she was not shying away from that. If you have different information, I would be keen to have an open exchange with you.
Are there other questions from any of you? Sorry? Okay. I think if that is not the case, then I wish you all a good week. Thank you.
From my side as well, have a good week.